Yeah! New shirts finally dropped. Go check the link in the description. JustByronShop.com. Cop yourself a shirt. There's 2 types. Go cop yourself whichever one you like. There's some descriptions to help you find your selection. Go check it out. Let's go. Jjan! Oh shit, that did not taste good. So now we're gonna move on to the actual contestants and everything. So I just wanted to say that the first thing that I noticed with like Show Me the Money seasons, like last season before that, is we're getting a lot of like these singing rappers, and like I feel like a lot of the producing teams want someone like fresh, you know what I mean? So like a couple of seasons before, we had Weinstein, who is, I'm not sure if he's like really popular, but he was on that MSG Wannabe show, and yeah, so he was popular on Show Me the Money. So, and then last season we had B.O., who I actually didn't really know who he was, but he was also a singing rapper, and he got a lot of popularity from Show Me the Money as well, and he did pretty far. So I feel like this season we're gonna see another one of those types of like dark horses, or like people who we don't really know shine, or like a fresh face, you know what I mean? So that's something that I noticed with Show Me the Money. I feel like that's gonna happen this season and a lot of seasons and future seasons as well.
To be honest, I feel like Mnet is making this a continuous thing every season now. That they have like one female rapper in the season that they want to push, and they just gave a lot of screen time, and you know, the best female rapper makes it far. That's pretty much what I'm saying. Even maybe sometimes they're not the greatest. So I don't know. Because Mirani should have been eliminated like 3 times before she actually kind of made it, or like maybe 2 times before she kind of got better. And then since, I mean, she was great, but she also had some unfortunate, not so good stages. Like she kind of was too one-sided, if that makes sense. Like in a sense of one-dimensional. Like she didn't have that many different things to do, and I think it showed. And yeah, they still kind of let her through a lot. So I think they're kind of making that like one female rapper a season a thing.
And some notable people that are on here are Drop the Bit members. If you haven't seen this show, Drop the Bit is Super B, and his label Young and Rich Records did a competition, like a rap show, kind of like Show Me the Money, but called Drop the Bit. And a lot of contestants were on there, and a lot of the song, like the performances, I got to know some of them. And I think a lot of those contestants are in this season as well. The winners of Drop the Bit were Cherry Boy, and also Cherry Boy 17 and Roy Yuna, and those 2 are on Show Me the Money, it looks like, and I look forward to see them. Most importantly, I'm looking forward to see Roy Yuna, because he was on High School Rapper 4 as well, and he was like my dark horse in the show. But I talked to some of my friends that they didn't really like his voice, because it was like kind of like a high-pitched voice, like when he's rapping. But I actually really liked that. I thought that was pretty fresh and kind of unique as well. So that's why I liked him in High School Rapper.
Well, and Farron is actually one of my favorites of that season. He is really good, but I also think he needs much more time. He's like one of those kids that is like really good at rap, but he doesn't really have an own style yet, other than like the, you know, kind of cleaning the stage with a like bandana thing that he does, like this little dance thing. I don't know if he did it on Drop the Bit, but he definitely did it on High School Rapper 4 a lot. And it's kind of like a cool style thing, but it's kind of like a lay one gimmick, right? It's like something he picked up, works, but it's kind of like whatever at some point if you see it 10 times. But yeah, he is like same as Mainu, actually, who's also on this list, who was also in High School Rapper 4, but of course also in Show Me the Money before, like in season 8 and 9. Those 2, or like a lot of the High School Rapper kids, they just not really ready, in my opinion. They're like so raw and have a lot of talent, but they don't have a style yet. So they will never win Show Me the Money in 10 years. Not right now, at least. You know, maybe in a few years from now, but I don't think rookies from those types of shows will actually have a good chance against like the very experienced rappers, because those just have more understanding of diversity, versatility, good lyrics for different songs, and you know, they won't always have the same type of song through the whole season. So I think that's kind of, they're too one-dimensional. I think that's kind of like their weak point for the most part.
And then in Dropped a Bit, I listened to his performances and everything, and he is like a really good rapper, I think, in my opinion. But I just want to see him on like the main stage, Show Me the Money is like the main show, what I'm saying? Dropped a Bit was also like anyone of any age group can join, and he actually won it. So I'm curious to see how he does on Show Me the Money. And he's probably going to be a little dark horse for me as well. And what's kind of cool is Blase is also on Show Me the Money again. I think he's been on Show Me the Money quite a bit. But he is actually Ro Yuna's teacher. Like he taught Ro Yuna how to rap. So it'd be kind of, I don't know if this would happen, but I'm kind of curious as to see if Blase would either like get eliminated and then Ro Yuna would pass in the elimination rounds for this season. That'll be, I don't know if that's going to happen, or the other way around. Blase, I feel like Blase, his last season he was on, he did that one performance, that elimination round, and I think after that, not sure if he had any more like notable performances.
Honestly, Blase is like, yes, I'm excited, but then when I think more about it, the more I think about it, the least hopeful I am, because he's kind of the same as what I just said about like the talent about the high school rapper people, but he has experience. So what I'm saying is he's kind of one-dimensional. He's really good in his dimension, so that's why he usually makes it at least a few rounds. But then at some point, he kind of gets exposed for being one-dimensional, and also now this is 5th year in a row. Surely people will talk about that. The producers will not let that slide, that he's like 5 years in a row and he has never made it like very far. So he definitely has a lot of eyes on him. He needs to be different, and I just don't see that. I think he's too far into his career to like be innovative at this point. So I think this is one of those guys that if he has a good run or maybe gets lucky with his opponents, he makes it a bit further than before, but he's never going to be a candidate for winning. Never. I think one thing that held him back, in my opinion, might be kind of like an unpopular opinion, but I do think his stage presence and like a lot of things play into that, but his stage presence is kind of weak. So he has kind of like a very insane, aggressive voice. If you just if you close your eyes and don't look at the screen and you don't know who raps, you would probably more often pick Blase as a winner as compared to when you actually watch the stage. Because I personally think his outfits and his hairstyles and also even his facial expressions are just kind of too neutral and not really that focused on like, being hype and like maybe even aggressive in like a battle or something. He just doesn't feel like a mean guy, which you kind of have to be a little bit at least. Like he doesn't feel like he wants to win almost, if that makes sense. Actually, good topic here because they're quite similar is D-Cell. From season 9 as well. He was there for the first time. And they both have a very similar style. I personally think, though, D-Cell makes it like, he's like the Blase, but better in that like point that I just made. Like he has stage presence and like character. Like D-Cell actually, you kind of scared of D-Cell if he like looks at you and like actually does something right on stage. I think he came unprepared for season 9, but he still made it quite far. Like he didn't expect it. I think if I remember correctly, that he would even make it a few rounds, and then he was kind of like, "Oh shit, I didn't prepare for this," and I'm like, "I guess I'm just gonna do some random shit." But I think if that guy actually takes it serious, he could go far. He could potentially be like a semi-final candidate, like dark horse-ish. Not sure if he would call it a winning candidate or favorite, but he's definitely good if he is just serious.
And also another notable mention that was undropped a bit is Khan, who has a really unique flow as well. His like whispering, I don't really know how to say it, raspy, fast rap is intriguing to me. I really like that style, and him with Octinova. I'm not sure if Octinova isn't mentioned on here, but on this list that I have or that we have, but I'm not sure if he's on there. But if Octinova is on there as well, then in the Show Money, then I think I'm looking forward to see him on there as well. But yeah, so Khan has that raspy rap sound, which is pretty unique to me. And the only thing with Khan is like, I feel like sometimes he runs out of breath when he raps, like really fast, because I kind of feel like I noticed that in his drop to bit performances. So I feel like if he can control that and like kind of practice how to like rap really fast while not running out of breath, then I think he is going to be a good dark horse as well in the show, in Show Me the Money.
Personally, I am very, very excited. Actually, my most excited about artist here or rapper is actually Damini, as a female rapper that I recently discovered, and she debuted, I think, early this year, so she's like super new. I think it's like 18 or 19. I'm not too sure about this, but I think that's what I heard once. So she's like super young, super raw, and she is the only ever female rapper I've heard, and even including male rappers, one of the only ones I've ever heard that actually does like a subgenre of rap where she screams. Like she pretty much does screamo rap. And she has a voice that sounds like she smoked for 30 years or some shit. And like it's about to die every second. It's quite interesting, but she is really aggressive. Like I would not be surprised if she gets a lot of beef and she literally punches someone in the season, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Also for this season, we have pretty much Joe Gwang-il was in last season, and I believe young Jjan, who is in that for Dipping Carl's label that Joe Gwang-il is the CEO of, that young Jjan was on that season. I'm not sure if he went that far last season, but I remember seeing him there. He was also on Drop the Bit as well, and he did one performance, I believe, that was aired. And then, but this season for Show Me the Money, it looks like all three of the Dipping Carl's members is there. Brown Tiger is there. Wallow, who is also in Dipping Carl's as well. And then I believe young Jjan is also there as well. So I'm curious to see how Brown Tiger does, first of all, because he's also a CEO of Dipping Carl's, like with Joe Gwang-il. So, but Brown Tiger has kind of like that Tiger JK rap style, so I'm not sure how he's gonna do. But I kind of curious about how Brown Tiger is gonna do, because to be a CEO, you gotta be pretty good at rapping, I think. So it's gonna be. I look forward to see him.
Honestly, I am not very hopeful for Brown Tiger as a contestant. I think, he has been on a season 3 times now, and he has never really, 6, 7, 8. He has never really done anything really. I don't think he made it far in any of the seasons, like maybe round 2 once or something, but yeah, usually fails in the first round, which to me means that he's just not really good off beat, like a cappella. But we'll see. Maybe he's doing better now that he got like more spotlight and he got a lot more experience with tons of songs that he did with Joe Gwang-il in the recent 2 or 3 years. So maybe, he has a glow up. Who knows? And other than that, I think I have only one left, which is Wallow. Also from the Brown Tiger Joe Gwang-il label. He also has a Rising verse, and that's when I kind of found him last year. And then I've listened to like a lot of his songs, and he's like really freaking good. I do believe he is also a bit young, so I feel like he has not really found his style. Like in a sense of like he can perfect it more and maybe like be more versatile. But he is so freaking good in like raw rap, and also he's gonna be like swearing a lot probably, so it's kind of fun. So I think my pick, if I had to pick one, is probably Wallow or Walo, whatever you want to say, because I think if he actually makes it consistently and he actually shows motivation to try and win the show, not just like show off. Like I think that's what he's gonna do, show off. But if he's not, then he is a dark horse. And then my second would be Weinstein, because he is just gonna make it far. We all know it. If he's gonna win, we will see, but he's gonna make it quite far because he is very versatile.
And we also have Yoonbi, who looks like he's coming back for another season, and he's been on the show a couple of times, Show Me the Money, and he was with Highlight, who I actually don't know if that is still a thing, still like a label or not, because Palo Alto is in Daytona now, so I don't know if Highlight is still a label or not. But Yoonbi did have some memorable moments in previous seasons, so I look forward to see how he does. Maybe he changed up his flow, maybe he got better at his rapping, or I don't know, but I look forward to see him.
I think Yoonbi is super, super cool. But then again, he also applied for season 9 and 10. He never got picked for those 2 seasons. So apparently Mnet doesn't like him much, so I'm curious if he even makes it on this. But yeah, he's kind of, if that makes sense, he's like kind of like an old guy. But then, like, in terms of like, he has been on a season a lot on the show.
There's actually a lot of like comebackers or contestants that are coming back for another season, like Chill and Homie as well. And yeah, I don't know. I look forward to see like all of them, how they kind of how they perform. Did they change up? Did they change up, or are they still like the same as before? But yeah, and also Mac Daddy too, who actually I really liked him in his last season that he was on. But I feel like with all these like comebackers, can I say that, comebackers? I feel like they kind of like, I don't know. I like, out of everyone, all the comebackers, I would probably say Mac Daddy is probably my favorite out of them. Then that I would like to see have one of the final stages.
Yeah, it really depends, because 3 of these guys are not consistent and McDaddy is. That's like the problem. Like, they all have inconsistency problems. Blasi more so that he needs to improve more than inconsistency, I think. But Chill and Homie is like inconsistent with lyrics. He like forgets lyrics a lot. And Diesel is just inconsistent with like motivation. It feels like sometimes he just doesn't give a fuck, like Sokodomo kind of. So if they both perform at their best, I think Chill and Homie and Diesel actually both the best by far out of those 4. But since they're probably not, it's probably McDaddy, yeah. We have like all of the like aggressive but kind of nice looking guys. You know, that they all give me the same vibe, actually, interesting enough. This might sound like, I'm not trying to be offensive at all, but they give me all the vibe as if they like literally just came from the streets or something. They give me like a very like underground, and like they know what they're talking about. Like, what they actually sing and rap about is actually true, right? Like, they give me that authenticity kind of vibe, that they actually have some weight behind their words and not just, you know, talk about money and you know, Rolexes like Super B. Like, I love Super B, but yeah.
So for me, I already have 2 predictions as to who I think would win this show. In my opinion, I feel like Don Malik probably is my 1, I would say, because I feel like out of all the people that I see on this list that is the notable candidates, I feel like in terms of rap, I feel like Don Malik is the best one, in my opinion, out of all these contestants that I see here.
There's like about Don Malik, I think there's a big surprising factor about this, but also a big like, oh, this makes sense. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword to me, where it's surprising because I don't think has been on Show Me the Money before, and he usually just doesn't really like the spotlight. He's like more an underground rapper, and he likes to be that. But then at the same time, he is also, or he was in Ambition Music, which is a label that I'm still not sure if it's now like, you know, defunct or not. And then another fun fact about him, of course, is that he's in Doppelganger M, which is Justice like crew. So Justice now is a producer. Sounds pretty interesting. Maybe they go together. That'd be cool. Like, that would be insane. No, that would be like an upgrade to Kuni Panda and Justice together, I think. That'd be even crazier, because Don Malik is much heavier, like with aggressiveness and like lyrics, than Kuni Panda is. So that'd be really cool.
Another person that I think is going to do really well, hopefully, is going to be in the running to be a winner as well, as Los, who actually has already been on Show Me the Money before.
The fact that he was on Best of the Best, Pt.2, the Michael Jordan new ad song there, I think that shows that he kind of wants to go more into the spotlight again. I feel like for a few years he has been kind of like lying low and just kind of chilling a bit, because he was on Show Me the Money a lot before, like a lot of seasons, if I remember correctly. But he kind of just maybe fell off, or just he was too often there, so people knew him too much.
But I think that back then he didn't really know Korean that well. And then after Show Me the Money, he signed with VMC, and he's been still making music. He's still with VMC, I believe. And I feel like his Korean has gone a lot better. And whenever I see him on features or in songs nowadays, it's still good. Like, he's still rapping really fast and really good with his rap and lyrics and everything. But now he has more Korean lyrics in there.
Yeah, I mean, if he improved as you say he did, then I definitely think he's up there, and he's potential for me as well to make it into semifinals. And who knows, whoever is in there, there's a lot of people that are not on this list that we don't know of yet that potentially could be like dark horses. There's always potential for something like a Uonj in season 6, or maybe even a Big Naughty in season 8 that come out of nowhere and are like pretty good, very good, if you want to say. Or even the arc of season 7.
I think this season is going to be a good season for Los, and I would love to see like a semifinal round or just a solo performance of his on Show Me the Money of Los, because I feel like his story is going to be a good one to tell to the audience and to perform with, if that makes sense.
From the names we have, that's very hard to say, honestly, because I think you need a lot of experience and like consistency. And a lot of these names, you just don't have it. So Loss is definitely up there as a potential. I don't want to name it, though. As weird as that sounds, it's potentially a McDaddy, honestly. Or even if he finally gets some more recognition that he absolutely deserves, then I would even say Ha or Ha. Like Rose the Penny, his former name is much cooler, but yeah. He was really freaking good in season 9 in Diss Track. He's just not really looked at by judges, so I hope maybe the judges of this season, like him a bit more. I guess I don't really have a good second pick. I don't think there's really that much of favorites here. My female rapper of the season, I mean, I'm gonna say the third time is Damini. So if there's one female rapper that makes it far, it's my pick. Although we have to say on our list that we didn't talk about it necessarily, but there's like a lot of female rappers on here, which is uncommon. Like I think there's about 10, which the list is like 40 people. So there's a lot of cool things potentially happening. But the lineup so far is interesting. It's not too boring. It's not too like in a sense of boring. I mean, it's not underwhelming. So which is very important. It makes me excited to watch it, which is the only thing I really care for. And other than that, we will see what happens. Yeah, and I think the only thing I have left to say really is like my picks I want to see in the future. Mostly very unlikely names, but
Alright.